Hey everyone, it's Blue again with the power rankings for your Paladins Console League. Week 4 is in the books, and we had some exciting matches, and we had some predictable matches. So let's get right into the power rankings. Couple changes, not many though. Your first 4 teams are still the same as they were last week. Flashpoint at number 1, they beat Cyclone in a 2 games set again. We were hoping Cyclone regrouped after the week 1 loss to Flashpoint and were able to push it. Flashpoint used 2 subs with I Only Ought Be and Filleted, but unfortunately they were still too powerful for Cyclone. Oni Channers over, game over again. That's a 2-0 set. So Oni Channers are your number 2 team. Remember, they made a huge jump after they beat Elevate. I still think Elevate is a strong team as well, but right now Oni Channers out in front. At number 3 is Vex Gaming. They were taken to game 3 by Radiant Esports, which was a big plus for Radiant. They got beat in 2 games in week 1 against Vex, and they regrouped here, and now they only have 1 loss, and that's to Vexed. So they take a second loss on their record here, and just trying to regroup. They could possibly still win as well. Cyclone can still take out Flashpoint as well if they lose the rest of the season. If Flashpoint and Cyclone get into a tie, then Flashpoint of course wins that tie because they beat Cyclone in the head-to-head match both times. At number 4 is Elevate, still a strong team, I believe one of the top teams on console right now in the PCL, even despite losing to Oni Channers in a 3-game set. They actually still have a chance to beat Oni Channers. If they win out the rest of their season and beat Oni Channers 2-0, they will be your land team. So Oni Channers having to not give any maps up to anybody and be able to 2-1 Elevate or 2-0 them again. Number 5, Happy Battle Cats. Now this may be a surprise to a lot of people, and a lot of people really meme this team saying they didn't deserve to be in the PCL, and I didn't think that was true from the very beginning. In the group stages, they took 1 map off Onslaught, and that was huge, especially for them being such a young team and raw talent. But they've made a couple roster swaps last week, and they kept those roster changes that they made with SoldierBot and Regan being incorporated into the main roster. And they just beat Onslaught in a 3-game set, 2-1. They didn't just take a map off of them, they beat them. Now yes, Onslaught was using a sub, but in this day and age, I believe if you have a sub, it's because you feel confident enough that that sub could potentially be a main roster position for you. Now, any arguments against that is of course your opinion versus my opinion, but in the end, Onslaught lost, and Happy Battle Cats moved to number 5 in the power rankings due to that. Radiant Esports at number 6, they forced a 3rd game against Vex, so they move up. They're still a strong team, have had both losses they have so far this season are to Vex, so kind of ends their LAN run as that is. At number 7 is Onslaught. They beat Curse These Hands. Now that match was postponed, so they didn't play that in week 3 like the rest of the matches that were scheduled. They played that before their week 4 match today, so they beat Curse These Hands, and that was a 2-game set, which was surprising. I thought it would go 3 games. I thought Curse These Hands could give them a fight. Unfortunately, Happy Battle Cats gave them a fight, and they won the fight. So Onslaught's at number 7 now. They moved back down. At number 8 is Curse These Hands. I still believe they're a strong team, but having a little bit of a problem losing to Onslaught. They beat Baldy Bunch this week, and in week 6 they're going up against Onslaught again, so hopefully they'll be able to contend against them that time. At number 9 is Cyclone. They move up 1 spot. Cyclone did fairly well against Flashpoint, didn't force the 3rd game for the 2nd time this season against them, but they're still doing much better than the rest of their division, which is Brutal Fissure and YCTG. So props to Cyclone. I think Tito has really increased their damage output as well. The team still leads the league in most deaths per game, but they've also played a ton more games than most of the teams in the PCL, with more 3-game sets than anyone else. At number 10 is Zimmer Frame. Now they're doing okay now. They were my number 2 team in the Xbox EU region for a week or two. They went up against Radiant and lost that. Here they are beating OTP, but OTP at number 11 is making some strides. They moved down this week, but only because of the loss. They're still putting up really good numbers against teams in the Xbox EU region, and they're putting up pretty decent fights. Unfortunately, they forced a game 3 against Radiant, Vexed, but they weren't able to force a game 3 against Radiant or Zimmer. So they moved down to number 11. At number 12 is Brutal Fissure. They moved down as well. They lost to Cyclone. They lost to Flashpoint. And so far, they've only beaten YCTG twice. And they were forced to go to game 3 by YCTG this week. So big ups to YCTG for that one. They're at number 13 as well. No wins this season, but they've been pushing game 3s against strong teams like Cyclone and Brutal Fissure. They just need to put 2 and 2 together and be able to pull out that second map win in order to get their first regular season win. At number 14 is Game Over. They get 2-0'd by Oni Channers again. Now they did beat Warm Up in week 3, so they are above Warm Up, but one of the bottom tier teams at the moment right now. Still trying to make roster swaps as well as they move Destro Knight in instead of Vengeance. At number 15 is Baldy Bunch, and 16 is Warm Up. Both these teams having roster problems repeatedly every week. Both these teams swapping roles with the players that they have repeatedly every week. I think that these teams are very talented teams, especially Baldy Bunch. They have people that have been to a LAN before. Unfortunately, both teams haven't been able to get a regular season win, and I feel for them, and I hope that they can figure out their role problems, their roster problems. Maybe the meta is not the kindest to these two teams at the moment, but hopefully they can pick it up and possibly squeeze one win out before the end of the season to give them a little confidence boost heading into the offseason. That's your power rankings for this week. It's week 4 power rankings. Just let me know your thoughts and comments or your opinions or who you think should be the top teams in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at realBluTV. That's BLU. Later, guys.